my horror night.
Welcome to the Last Video Store. I'm your host, Bud Haddonfield, and before we get started, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I instantly regret making this video because it's a lot. Horror remakes, they are a lot, and this is just some right here. The aspect of taking something that was already made and either putting it back out there to make it relevant again or trying your own hand to do so. There's a lot of remakes. So I figured before I actually started pulling all these off the shelves, because the Last Video Store has over 5,000 horror titles in the store, and it was a lot to go through, but I love doing the show. It's a labor of love. I get to connect with you, the wonderful people out there in YouTube land. So I figured we'd look at some horror remakes, not all of them, because there's a lot of them. I just picked a small majority, and we're going to put them in three categories of the ones that are great, ones that are okay, decent, passable, enjoyable, and one that are really, really bad. So let's see if your favorite remakes make which category. All right, let's get things started. And before I do, I want to let you know I'm not going to give in-depth reviews or just a lot of information on all these movies, because there's a lot. If something interesting pops in my mind, we'll talk about it, but we're going to get this going as fast as possible. So kicking things off, Rob Zombie's Halloween. I love the original movie. I really liked this one when it came out. It doesn't hold up too well. There's a lot of just mean-spiritedness in this, but that's what Rob Zombie likes to put in his movies. But I'm going to stick with my gut, and I'm going to say this is a really good remake. So it's going to go in the great category. I already know this one. The Blob. I absolutely love this movie as well. Definitely still holds up. Being from the 80s, the special effects is still great. This is a great remake. Invaders from Mars. Tobe Hooper decided to do this movie. I believe it was a remake from the 50s. I'm pretty sure, and if not, I apologize, because I have a lot in front of me. But Invaders from Mars is really good. There's a lot of cool homages to it. You can tell that Tobe Hooper was a fan of the original, and he enjoyed working on this. So I'm going to put this in the category that this is a good remake. From Tobe Hooper to John Carpenter, we're going to go with Village of the Damned. I remember when this movie came out in the mid-90s, and I really liked it. You had Christopher Reeve, you had Mark Hamill, Kirstie Alley, all kind of cool celebrities in here. Michael Pear, which I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but you know what I'm talking about. He was in Bad Moon, and he was in the reboot of The Puppet Master. He's in a lot of more recent movies, but you'll definitely recognize him. I think he was in Eddie and the Cruisers, and you also have Crocodile Dundee's ex-wife. But Village of the Damned is fun. It's interesting. It's a cool homage to the original, because they include a lot in here, but they go a little bit more in depth, and I love pretty much everything John Carpenter puts out. So Village of the Damned is a good remake. Another one of his, The Thing, a remake of The Thing from Another World. It was a great movie back in the day. I really enjoyed everything that John Carpenter put in there. Again, being from the early 80s, all these special effects still hold up. Damn great movie, damn good remake. Cat People, which is a remake of 1940s horror movie. It kind of has a lot into it. It's not as cut and dry as most of these movies, especially these classic movies. And this one has a lot to put in it. You got Malcolm McDowell. You got, is it John Hurt, the dad from, the dad from Home Alone 1 and 2. And then you have Klaus Kinski's daughter, Natasha Kinski. Annette O'Toole. This wasn't a bad movie. There's a lot into it, and it's not like a regular horror movie. Like, you need some maturity, and you need to pay attention to the plot points and whatnot. But this is, again, a good remake. So far, we're doing pretty good. The Island of Dr. Monroe. I like this movie. I like the original one. This one isn't bad. creatures running amok, but they're pretty much, they didn't want to be created. They're freaks of nature and they want respect. So, good remake. You got Val Kilmer, Marlon Brando, homegirl from The Waterboy und the Kraft, Farusa Balk. Yeah, good remake. All right, I can't give all these good remakes. So the next one, bruh, Cabin Fever. Why? Why remake this movie? The original wasn't even out that long when this one came out. This was 2016. I believe the original came out in 2002. So 14 years, if anything. Why? So I'm gonna put this in bad because we just didn't need it. It's not necessarily a bad film. There's enjoyable parts, but it's pretty much the exact same movie with just a little things changed out here and there. So, not to be disrespectful, but I'm gonna put this in the bad category. Hellraiser. This is the one that came out on Hulu a couple years back. It's not bad. There's a few things that they change up from it from the original movies. It's cool. I don't mind Pinhead being a female. You know, it's not bad at all. I'm gonna put this one in the middle category. Like it's good. It's not bad. It's one of those that is passable. It's decent. So yeah. All right, this is a fun one that not a lot of people like. I know I enjoyed it. And it's gonna be 2001 Maniacs, and it's a remake of Herschel Gordon Lewis's 2000 Maniacs. This one was fun. You got Robert Englund. You got Kane Hodder in a small scene. Directed by Tim Sullivan. He did some other movies here and there. He's not too bad. He had worked on what's the name of that damn movie? Bear with me. It's really not important. But 2001 Maniacs is good. It's passable. I'm going to put it in the medium category because it's kind of ridiculous. You even got Travis Tritt in a small role. So 2001 Maniacs. All right, continuing with Herschel Gordon Lewis, we have Blood Diner. This is somewhat a remake of Blood Feast. Two brothers taking body parts from different to make the ultimate goddess Sheetar. I really love this movie. It's fun. Not a lot of people talk about it. It's definitely strange, odd, directed by Jackie Kong. She gets a lot of shit. I know she had made Night Patrol with Linda Blair from the 80s. That wasn't too good of a movie, but it was all right. But I really love Blood Diner, so I'm going to put this in a good remake. All right, continuing with another remake of Blood Feast. And this is going to be the most recent, Blood Feast. I know this one has Robert Russell and Caroline Williams. I love Caroline Williams. Just such a beautiful actress. Everything she's in, she's good. This movie, not so great. So I'm going to put this in a bad category. Another mean-spiritedness that they're just trying to make money because in the later 2000s, they were remaking pretty much everything. And it doesn't stop Wes Craven's Last House on the Left. I just don't like movies that have rape in it and whatnot. It's not cool. We don't need it. There's enough bad shit going on in the world that, you know, all these horror movies are supposed to be just outrageous and not realistic because you want safe scares. And rape is definitely not something I think that should be presented as often as it is, unfortunately. Last House on the Left, this movie isn't bad. There's a lot of similarities to the original one, obviously, because, you know, the original one was a more of a shocking movie. But Wes Craven and Sean Cunningham did all right with the original, excluding some of the weird revenge plots and all the mean-spiritedness. But I'm going to put this in the middle category. They just wanted to make money. Now, this movie is going to be shit. It was shit from the first time I fucking saw it. I tried rewatching it. It was still shit. It's going to be a remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. Jackie R. Haley. Yeah, there's only one Freddy Krueger, and it's fucking Robert Englund. So, this movie sucks. And yes, I know, why you own it. I appreciate horror in every aspect. Everything has something that appeals to somebody. Every movie out there has its fans. And I believe in supporting horror movies, regardless if it's good or bad. So, I'm not going to say this is the worst movie in the world, but this is one of the worst movies on this list in this episode. So, yeah, bad category. All right, continuing with Wes Craven's remakes, The Hills Have Eyes. This one was, again, just like the original. I like this one. This one was pretty cool, minus the whole rape thing, because, rape is never good. Fuck all anybody rapists out there, you piece of shit. So this movie's not bad. I'm gonna put this in the good remake. All right, in the late 90s, early 2000s, I can't think of his damn name. Having a brain fart, so just bear with me. Stan Winston, he was a great special effects guru. He did all kind of things from the 80s, the 90s, and whatnot. He's very recognizable with his studio. They wanted to make some action figures, and they wanted to remake some classic monster movies. And they're all pretty much different than the original movies, different stories. They went in their own direction. The creatures look different. So, yeah. The first one on the list is She-Creature. This movie's not bad. I'm going to put this in the middle category. Continuing from that same series, we got How to Make a Monster. You got Robert Culp, Clea Duvall, and Tyler Mane. He's in this movie as well. This one was a fun one. Pretty much about some guys working on a video game, trying to make the ultimate bad guy, but they make the ultimate monster. So I'm going to put this in the good category because I had a lot of fun with this one. Teenage Caveman. This movie was weird. It wasn't that fun. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to put this one in the bad remake category because, it was odd. It was an odd movie. Earth versus the Spider, which has Dan Aykroyd from Ghost. Everybody knows who Dan Aykroyd is. Anyway, this movie wasn't bad. It was a different take on Spider-Man, pretty much about this security guard who got bitten by this spider. He loves superheroes, and instead of turning into a superhero, he turned into a monster. So, Earth versus the Spider. I like this one. I'm going to put it in the good remake. And the last one from that studio, from the Creature Features, is going to be The Day the World Ended. This wasn't a bad little movie. You had Randy Quaid in it. Natasha Kinski again is making an appearance. I'll put this one in the middle category. So, a movie I remember liking in the 90s, which I recently rewatched, and it doesn't hold up as well, and it's going to be the Body Snatchers from the early 90s. I remember we seen Make Tilly naked in there. I remember that for some damn reason. This movie's all right. I'm going to put it in the middle category. Now, the remake of the remake, Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 70s with Donald Sutherland, Jeff Goldblum. I really like this movie. This is a great movie. And this was, I believe, 1978. This is a very early remake, and it's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to put it in the good category. Continuing good category, we have the remake of The Fly, again with Jeff Goldblum. 1986, David Cronenberg. Can't go better with that, man. This movie's great. Awesome body horror. I was always a fan of David Cronenberg. So, The Fly, great remake. All right, this movie is another remake of a David Cronenberg movie, and it's going to be Rabbit. I understand that they were trying to make the original one relevant, and it's not a bad movie. The Soska sisters did this. It's not that great, though. I didn't care for it, so I'm going to put it in the bad category. Now, you might be shocked about this one, but this is House of Wax. Yes, the House of Wax from, I believe, the 1953, and it has Vincent Price and, what's his damn name? You know what I'm talking about, from Death Wish, Charles Bronson. This is a fun movie. This is a remake of Mystery of the Wax Museum. This one's a whole lot of fun, so I give this one a pass. This is a great remake. Wonderful remake. I love it. Sorority Row, which is a remake of The House on Sorority Row. I liked it. This was a cool little remake. It had Bruce Willis's daughter in it. Bunch of cool, enjoyable actresses getting picked off one by a mass killer with a 4-way blade. So this one's good. I'm going to put this in the middle category because it's enjoyable. For some reason, not a lot of people talk about it anymore. It kind of fell on the waistline of the different horror remakes, but it's passable. 13 Ghosts. This was a fun movie, very enjoyable. I think all the different unique ghosts is cool. It's quite amazing. It's scary. It's eerie. I love listening to the backstories. I'm gonna put this in the good category. You have Tony Shalhoub, Matthew Lillard, Shannon Elizabeth, F. Murray Abraham. I remember he was like one of the bad guy in the Lonesome Dove movies. So he was a motherfucker in that one. So 13 Ghosts. Klaus Kinski is kind of a piece of shit. I'll say kind of a piece of shit. Supposedly he molested his daughters. That's never cool. Fuck him. But he was in this 70s remake of Nosferatu, directed by Werner Herzog. This one came out in 1979. It was a remake of Nosferatu, which was pretty much based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Just changing little things of it. This movie is not bad. I'm going to put it in the middle category. Pet Sematary. We getting into some Stephen King. I was excited when I heard about this because I remember really liking Pet Sematary. There's a lot of eeriness to the original story and movie. Just this one didn't do it for me. It changed, like one of the biggest parts of the story being that it wasn't Gage Creed, it was Ellie Creed. And what was his name? Miko Hughes was just, he was so perfect in the role of the original one with the eeriness of that kid killer, and this one's just, it's not that great. And they kind of fucked up Judd Crandall's character. They made him like an abuser and whatnot, and that's not cool because Fred Gwynn's Judd Crandall's just so amazing. So, Pet Sematary, I'm going to put this in the bad remake category. Speaking of bad, Carrie. Know her name. This one came out in the 2010s with Chloe Grace Moretz. I watched this one time. The original Carrie is just so great. It's so iconic. It's amazing. Sissy Spacek did such a great role, being that she's not the ideal character or not the ideal actress to portray Carrie from the book, because it doesn't fit. And Chloe Grace Moretz is no Carrie White. I'm going to put this in the bad category. So continuing with the 2000s Carrie remake, this one was supposed to be a 2002 pilot that they were trying to jumpstart a TV show for, or miniseries. This one came out with the girl from May, Angela Bettis. It's not bad. It's long. It's like a mystery, but it's something we really didn't need, and it's pretty much the exact same thing. Like even in the Carrie remake, it's like all the lines are pretty much the exact same. They just change out a few things with it. So I'm going to put this in the middle category because it's really not that bad. It's just, again, we didn't need it. Getting to some George A. Romero, we have The Crazies. This was a fun movie. I really liked the original one. I went to see this one in the theaters. It's a different story, but it's not bad. I had a lot of fun with this one. So I'm going to put this one in the good remake category. Night of the Animated Undead. Night of the Living Dead is in public domain, so there's a lot of spin-offs and remakes, and it even has a weird sequel with children. But this is just a animated portrayal of it, so it wasn't bad. It kind of looks like a little Scooby-Doo movie, but it's not the worst thing out there. And it's keeping the story relevant that even kids can watch it and be like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Let me go check out the original. So I'm going to put this one in the middle category. Now, this one from 1990, the Tom Savini remake of Night of the Living Dead. I absolutely love this movie. This is one of the greatest remakes ever made. It's fun. It changes up a couple things, but John Russo and George A. Romero came back and worked on it together with Tom Savini, and it is absolutely amazing. This goes in the great category. Unpopular opinion, I didn't care for the Dawn of the Dead remake too much. Fast zombies have never really been my thing. This was a good movie. Like, I can appreciate what it is. It had good writing. It had good gore. It had good acting. Zack Snyder did a good job making this movie. It just felt too Hollywood for me. So it's a great movie, even though that I don't care for it too much. I can appreciate something for what it is, and I'm gonna put it in the good category. All right, one that I'm not gonna put in a good category is gonna be the remake of The Wolfman. Wolfman. I remember watching this movie in theaters when it came out, and I'm like, man, this movie kind of fucking sucks. Benicio del Toro, what the hell? So I'm gonna put this in the shit pile. So, strangely, I like the 90s version of Psycho. I think Vince Vaughn did a good job as Norman Bates. It's another one of those, like, it's the exact same thing as the original. The original came out in 1960. This one came out in 1998. So 38 years in between. So it's a fun little thing to keep it relevant. Everybody knows who Norman Bates is. But I'm going to put it in the middle category. Slumber Party Massacre. It kind of changed the storyline from the original. Like, it's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie at the same time, so I'm going to put this in the middle. Another remake, House of Wax. I dug this one. It's not the worst movie out there. I remember going to see this one in theaters when it came out in the mid-2000s. Paris Hilton, kind of cringe. You can tell I have a lot of conversation with my kids. But I'm going to put this in the middle category. Children of the Corn, which is an adaptation from The Night Shift called Disciples of the Crow. I really like the original one. There's a lot of Children of the Corn movies, and not a lot of them are good, and I didn't care for this one either, so I'm going to put this one in the shit category. Piranha 3D. I absolutely love this movie. It was great. Cool. 3D boobies. We got Jerry O'Connor with his wiener bitten off. Fun. Elizabeth Shue, Ving Rhames. We get the little fucking bald dude from The League, Andre. This was fun. I dig it. Good category. Amityville Horror. This is another film series that not all the movies are good. But Ryan Reynolds did a good job. And I'm going to put this in the middle category. Again, this was at the time where everything was getting remade, so when I heard it came out, I'm like, of course they're doing it. But it wasn't the worst movie out there, and I haven't seen it since I watched it originally, so I'm not going to judge it too harshly. Alexander Aja, I'm probably fucking that up, but he did Piranha and one of the other remakes on the list. But he worked on the remake of Maniac, which... why can't I think of his goddamn name? William Lustig. This was fun, different. Elijah Wood did a good job in it. I'm going to put this one in the good remake category. Evil Dead. This movie wasn't bad. Fede Alvarez did a good job. You can tell he liked the original one. It was fun, very gory, some mean-spiritedness to it. The one thing I didn't care for was that our main character, played by, what's her goddamn name? It's really not important. Jane Levy, I think it is. She goes through hell. She gets fucked up. And when she's unpossessed, it's like, she's fine. Everything is healed. I didn't care for that part. But at the end, we get a little cameo by Bruce Campbell just saying groovy. I'm going to put this one in the middle category. Suspiria. Suspiria, the original one's such a great movie. I just feel like we didn't need this movie. Dario Argento's original one is amazing in every aspect. Even being from the 70s, it's kind of like Carrie is so iconic. We didn't need a new adaptation to it. And again, Chloe Grace Moretz is in it. So, what's the common factor? And I like Chloe Grace Moretz. She did good. It's just this and Carrie, it's like, we don't need this. So I'm going to put this one in the bad category. Now, this is a movie I love, even though it has the little dude from, what's the name of it? Fucking movie. You guys want some cookies? House on Haunted Hill. It's not important. He was the dude from Night of the Roxbury. Uh, it's not important. But I really like this movie. I remember going to see it again in the theater. I pretty much go watch everything in the theaters. I like to support that, and I love watching all these movies. It's bothering me that I can't think of this goddamn movie because I watch it every time I see it on TV. Corky Romano. This is good. I enjoyed it. The sequel to this one's not as great, but we get Jeffrey Combs in this one, and I love that dude as an actor. William Malone directed this. He did some other things. I know Robert Zemeckis worked on it. 1999, House on Haunted Hill, good category. The Omen. We didn't need this movie. The original one was such good and iconic, and it's too close to the original, so I'm going to put this in the middle. One Missed Call, bad. The Ring, I did not like this movie when it first came out. I remember seeing the original one and really liking it. This one was shit, but a couple years ago, I rewatched it and I appreciate it for what it is, so I'm going to put this in a good category. Night of the Demons. The original one is one of my favorite movies. I remember being so excited for this movie when it came out. We even get a little cameo by my homegirl, Linnea Quigley. So I like this movie. It's kind of shite. We get Edward Furlong in it, Monica Keena, Shannon Elizabeth. But I'm going to put this one in the middle category because the original one's so near and dear to my heart that I can't trash this one too bad. Unpopular opinion. I like the remake of Child's Play. It's different. We get Mark Hamill. He does his own thing. It's a different story. It's pretty much the exact same thing as Megan, and everybody loves that movie. But yeah, I like it. Good category. Silent Night, Deadly Night was a great horror movie from the mid-'80s, I think 1984. Everybody shit on it when it came for like critics and Bible thumpers and whatnot. So when they did the remake, Silent Night, I liked it. I didn't think it was bad. Again, we had Malcolm McDowell, who he pops up in some of these remakes, and they have some funness to it. There's some homages to the original ones. I dig it. I'm going to put this one in the middle category. My Bloody Valentine 3D. I also like this movie. It's fun. We get Jamie King, who was in Silent Night. I'm going to put this one in the middle category as well. Fright Night. I like this movie. It's not bad. What's his goddamn name? Colin Farrell. He's no Chris Sarandon, but he did good as Jared Dandridge. It's not the worst thing ever. Anti-Yelchin is such a tragic situation with his passing, so I'm going to put this in the good category. Now, Fright Night 2 is not a sequel to anything. It is pretty much the exact same movie, exact same story as Fright Night. And I'm going to put it in the bad category. All right, now on to the DVDs. It's Alive. Bad. The Wicker Man. Bad. Not of This Earth. I don't know why I say certain things with lists, but that's kind of weird. This one was directed by Jim Wynorski. Roger Corman Classics. He recently had a birthday. That dude's always great. Tracy Lords. I like this movie. I'm going to put this one in the good remake category. The Haunting with Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson, and Lily Taylor. I like Lily Taylor. She's good in everything she shows up in. She was the star of this one. This one wasn't bad, but put it in the middle category. The Grudge. I like the original one much better, so I'm going to put this one in the middle category because some people get freaked out by some of the scenes, not going to appreciate it for what it is, so it's not that bad. Jacob's Ladder. Why? It's bad. It's shit. We didn't need it. Stepfather, I've seen much better, so I'm going to put this one in bad. Black Christmas, I hated this movie until I watched the second remake, so I'm going to put this one in the middle category. Pure dog shit. This movie sucked. Yes, I paid for it because I like sport horror, but this movie's fucking stupid. We didn't need it. When a Stranger Calls, I actually liked it. It was the original one, such like a tame story from the 70s with the originating the callers from inside the house. I dug it. It's not the worst movie out there. Lance Henriksen does the voice of the stranger. But it was fun. Middle category. The Hitcher. We didn't need it. Rugger Hogger. Yeah, Rugger Hogger. Close enough. He did great with the original. C. Thomas Howell. What's her damn name? Vic Morrow's daughter. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Jennifer Jason Leigh. She was in the original one as well. This one was just a Hollywood shoehorning in, trying to stay relevant. The original one's so much better. We need a actual American Blu-ray. April Fools. Bad. Humanoids from the Deep. This one was kind of fun. I'm going to put this one in the good category. Roger Corman pretty much got the first one made because it was his studio, it was his money. And in the 90s, like 10 years later, they had did this. It was a made-for-TV remake with Robert Carradine. This one was fun. It's not the worst movie out there. So I'm going to put this in the middle category. Piranha with William Katt. Not a lot of people know that there was actually a remake before Piranha 3D. And this one was fun. Mila Kunis is in it. This was one of her first starring roles. So I'm going to give this one a middle category as well. Touching on some more Herschel Gordon Lewis, The Wizard of Gore. I always like Crispin Glover, from everything to Willard, Back to the Future, in the fourth Friday the 13th movie. This one was fun, middle category. Going back to George A. Romero, we have Night of the Living Dead 3D. They made Ben White, which Ben is such an iconic character, Dwayne Jones and Tony Todd, that they gave it to some unknown dude. We do have Sid Haig, but I'm going to put this in the bad category. Because, number one, this movie came out in fucking 3D, all right? And in the 2000s, when I bought it, it did not come with 3D glasses. And you could only watch this in 3D on this DVD. So, I got a fucking headache trying to watch this goddamn movie. Day of the Dead. This movie sucked. So bad. Bad. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I was a great, huge fan of. I love the series, the part 1, part 2, and even part 3. Somewhat enjoyed part 4, so when they announced that they were doing a remake in the early 2000s, jumped to it, went see it opening day. I really liked it. It was fun. So, good category. Continuing with Tobe Hooper, we have Toolbox Murders. I like this movie. It was good. We had the girl from Carrie, the second remake of Carrie, or the first remake of Carrie. Angela Bettis. Tobe Hooper directed this movie, and we also have a very small cameo by Sherry Moon Zombie. So, I dug it. I'm going to put this one in a good category. We need a Blu-ray release of this. Shut up! It's not the worst movie out there, but it's bad. So bad category. All right, so down to my final 4, just because I was tired of looking for fucking remakes. Willard, really good. I like this one. Again, Crispin Glover and Orly Ermy. Passable, good category. Leprechaun Origins. I know I just did a countdown of the series. It's not the worst movie out there, but it's different than the original story, so bad. Friday the 13th, I really liked this movie. It was good. It fixed a lot of the things that the original one got wrong. And if you've seen the original one, you know they got some fuckery behind it. So, good category. And Prom Night, different story, not bad. I thought it was cool, middle category. So that was fun. I did it all in one take, long-winded as fuck. So I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of remakes out there. Some are good, some are all right, some are shit. You all know this by watching this. There's a lot more out there that I just didn't feel like talking about, but we might even do a part 2 to this one next in the near future, or in the far away future. So I'm Bud Haddonfield. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to do some more episodes to come. Summer's coming. May's right around the corner, so we're going to have our second annual May of the Dead. I'm excited for that one. It's a month dedicated to zombie movies, so tune in for that. I recently did an episode for Block of Horror with one of the guys from the Walking Dead. Tune into that show. You can find that on Twitter. So it's a great podcast in itself. So check it out. So like and subscribe. Thank you all. See y'all in the next episode. Y'all have a nice day.
Michael Myers are the heroes of my past. Now the medium is dying. Chucky and the zombies now Olympic cemetery. So bring me